Hi guys, this is Mr. Long coming to you with lesson 2. Today we're going to talk about x and y intercepts. We've talked about this in a previous section of our work in class, but I just want to go over it again. Just kind of let you see where it comes from and how useful it is when we're graphing lines. So if you'll take out lesson number 2 from your packet, and we'll begin with today's lesson. The first statement says, the point at which the line intersects the x-axis is called the x-intercept. That is where the line crosses the x-axis. It's called the x-intercept. So, for example, this right here would be my x-intercept because it is where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? The point at which the line intersects the y-axis is called the y-intercept. And that would be this point here. Well, there's the y-axis, so my y-intercept would actually be that point right there. So it says, example, identify the x and y intercepts of the graph shown to the right. So if this is my x-intercept where it crosses the x-axis, I want to write that in an ordered pair. And so it would be the ordered pair 8, 0. Because from the origin, I go to the right 8, but I don't go up and I don't go down. So that's where the 0 comes from. And in the same manner, my y-intercept would be 0, 8. Because from the origin, I don't go left or right. So that's 0, but I go up 8. Make sure that you write your answers for x and y-intercept as an ordered pair. To find the x-intercept, we can also do it algebraically. If you're given an equation of a line, you can find the x-intercept by plugging 0 in for y and then solve for x. So if you want to find the x-intercept, plug in 0 for y. If you want to find the y-intercept, you plug in 0 for x and then solve for y. So it's backwards. If you want the x-intercept, plug in 0 for y. If you want the y-intercept, plug in 0 for x, and then you solve for the variable. So for example, it says find the x and y-intercept of the equation y equals 3x plus 6. So, to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. And when I do that, I'm left with 0 equals 3x plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides, negative 6 equals 3x. Then I divide by 3, and x equals negative 2. Remember on the last slide, I said you have to write your x and y intercepts as ordered pairs. And so my x-intercept would be this point right here, negative 2, 0. So if I wanted to find the y-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for x, which is what I've done here. Well, 3 times 0, 0. 0 plus 6 is 6. So y equals 6. So that is my y-intercept. When x is 0, y is 6. For my x-intercept, when y is 0, x is negative 2. So let's hear, what would that graph look like? Let's just sketch it real quick. Roughly draw a coordinate plane. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So for my x-intercept, x is negative 2, y 0. And for my y-intercept, x is 0 and y is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to try to draw a straight line. And that would be my graph using the x-intercept and y-intercept. So let's work some of these together. Let's work number 1 together. It says find the x and y-intercept of each equation. So if I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. Okay? Subtract 5 from both sides. Negative 5 equals negative x. Let's divide by negative 1. And negative divided by negative is a positive. So 5 equals x. So my x-intercept, remember when we write the ordered pair, when x is 5, well, what number did I plug in for y? 0. Okay? Now, let's look at the y-intercept. Okay? So I'd have y equals, we're going to plug in 0 for x. Well, negative 0 is just 0, so 0 plus 5 is 5. So y equals 5. So my y-intercept, my x was 0, because that's what I plugged in for x. And what was y? 5. So x-intercept is 5, 0. Y-intercept is 0, 5. Let's work number 4 together. Some of these will be in standard form. That's okay. We're still going to plug in 0 for y when we want the x-intercept. And when you want the y-intercept, we're going to plug in 0 for x. Okay? So let's begin by looking at the x-intercept. So I would have x minus 0 equals 2. And x minus 0 is just x. So my ordered pair for the x-intercept, x is 2. And what did I plug in for 0? Y. Okay, so now let's look at the next one. Change color here. Let's do the y-intercept. So I would plug in 0 for x. 0 minus y equals 2. 0 minus y is still minus y. I don't want a negative y, so I divide by negative 1, and y equals negative 2. So my y-intercept, when x is 0, y is negative 2. So even though they're written in standard form, just plug in the 0 once again for x if you're finding the y-intercept, and plug in 0 for y if you're finding the x-intercept. Okay, let's look at number 7. Number 7 says find the x and y-intercept of each equation. Graph the equation using its intercepts. So let's find the x-intercept. So negative 4x plus 5 times 0 equals 20. Because I want 0 to be plugged in for y. That's going to give me the x-intercept. So I'll have negative 4x. 5 times 0, 0 equals 20. Divide by negative 4. And x equals negative 5. So my ordered pair would be negative 5, 0. Okay. Now, let's look at the y-intercept. Negative 4 times 0 plus 5y equals 20. Well, negative 4 times 0, 0. And 0 plus 5y is just 5y equals 20. We're going to divide by 5, and y equals 4. So my ordered pair would be 0, 4. So now let's graph these 2 points, okay? So for the x-intercept, it's negative 5, 0. So from the origin, I'm going to go left 5, and I don't go up or down any. So there is my point on the x-intercept, on the x-axis. And so for the y-intercept, I'm not going to go left or right. but I want to go up 4 because it's positive 4. And then I graph my line. Okay. Now, your assignment is to finish this worksheet. Once you finish this worksheet, then I want you to go back to Google Docs, and there's a form there for you to type in your x-intercept and y-intercept for each problem. Hold on to your paperwork. In a couple of days, you'll be receiving an envelope where you will send back your paperwork to us. And I need you to make sure that you show all of your work and the graphs on that form, okay? And I will collect that from you at that time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Have a great day, guys.